So we're here at the Food for Less in East Hollywood. They've had plans to close down 5 different Kroger branches, and they're saying it's in response to the hero pay or hazard pay ordinance. Basically, since the pandemic, Los Angeles has said that stores have to pay anywhere from $4 to $5 more to their employees for hazard pay, and other stores like Vons and Target have been doing it. Kroger's basically trying to use intimidation tactics against cities to basically say, hey, if you do this, we're going to shut down stores. There's also some rumors going that like this was probably planned anyways, like they were going to close this store and others. This store closing is going to leave a food desert for the residents of this community, and you know, it's a lower income area, and it's interesting because like you go just up the street and there's a Ralph's that's in like a higher income part of the area, and it's more expensive. And it's difficult. We came and flyered the other day, and like residents didn't even know about it, and we're outraged. So we had folks that were like, "Hey, give me some extra flyers so I can pass it around." But yeah, it's really sad, and it's happening here in East Hollywood. There are 2 stores in Long Beach, and then there's a store in Pico Rivera and another one in Slauson that are all closing. And I believe there's also some similar things going on in Seattle as well. So we've got 3 events going on today, one here, one in Long Beach, and one in Seattle, that are all kind of working together. We've got the UFCW out here, groups like LAN, L-A-A-N, that's a group that works closely with them. And then we've been coalitioning with my group, Abra, and other groups such as some of the folks that are in Long Beach with different groups that formed during the summer. Yeah, and so we're just trying to help the workers. We're trying to help the communities, and we also want to help find alternatives, because while we want to do what we can to prevent these stores from shutting down, we also want to try to make sure that we provide for the needs of the community if the stores do shut down.
Good morning, buenos dias, welcome, bienvenidos to Food for Less. This is Food for Less 362. This is one of the stores that Kroger has announced that it will be closing during the pandemic. So for the past over a year now, workers at Food for Less and Ralph's, both owned by Kroger, have been risking their lives, their health, the health and safety of their families to provide food to their communities. The communities decided that because of the risks that they've been taking, that these workers deserve an increase in pay. And many communities, LA, South Pasadena, Glendale, Long Beach, Montebello, and many others, Santa Monica, I can't even name them all, but many communities within LA County decided to give an increase in pay as a result of these risks that these workers were taking. Soon thereafter, Kroger announced the closure of 3 stores, claiming that they were closing the stores in response to the hazard pay, and they did this to threaten and bully other communities. Then they went around to other communities saying, hey, if you pass hazard pay, we're going to close your stores too. And this was a big lie. A total lie. The stores that they're closing are not underperforming stores, particularly not this store, which makes almost $1 million a week in sales. That's a very high performing store. There are other reasons totally unrelated to hazard pay that they're closing this store. So they are lying in order to threaten and bully communities. Over the last year, Kroger's profit went up by more than 50% to $2.6 billion. $2.6 billion with a B. That's profit. And they are not sharing it with the people who have earned that profit for them. The CEO, Rodney McMullen, makes over $20 million a year, and they cannot increase the pay of these workers on the front lines. It's despicable.
We stand by these workers. They have, I'm a former grocery store worker too, and I know the kind of work they do, but I don't know what they've been experiencing this last year. It's got to be incredibly stressful to be on the front lines, making sure everything is business as usual, that your customers are safe, that you're getting products on the shelves and feeding your community. They deserve the hero pay. Stonewall Democrats stand with Kroger workers, and it's just crazy that the CEO can be making millions of dollars, but he can't shell out a few extra bucks an hour for these workers who are coming in and day out to serve the community.
So I'm out here with the DSALA, Democratic Socialists of America, and we're here supporting the Food for Less workers that are at risk of being laid off as a result of being granted $5 hazard pay during the pandemic. The city recently granted them that hazard pay, and Kroger has threatened to close several of their Food for Less stores around the city, including this branch right here. So we're out here standing in solidarity with those Food for Less workers who have been a lifeline for our community. In closing these stores, Kroger is the largest grocery store by revenue in the country. They're the 5th largest retailer in the world, and they're going to tell us that it's untenable to pay $5 more in hazard pay when our communities are suffering, when there's a global pandemic going on, when people already have limited access to healthy food at an affordable price. It's going to hurt our community. It's going to hurt those workers. It's going to hurt everybody that lives here.
I am the chair of the LGBTQ+ Allies Committee on the East Hollywood Neighborhood Council. When I was a young kid, Food for Less used to offer the community a shuttle service to their homes if they bought groceries. That's why it surprises me that now they could justify closing this store because they don't want to pay their heroes for the services they have performed. They have risked their lives during a very difficult time. We can't forget the word hero applies to them just as much as it applies to the doctors who have been treating our sick. They gave our community sustenance with a lot less PPE.
Save our store! 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 Save our store!
Part of the community is going to be hurting me because now my family and I, we depend on the store. And also my neighbors, there's old ladies that it's going to be very hard for them to shop, to do their groceries. They can drive, so it's going to be much harder for them.
Hope you enjoyed that last video. Hop on over to statuscoup.com where you can sign up for our email list and become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. Membership is how we grow. That's statuscoup.com/join. And remember, join our email list so we can grow the revolution with you.